Hey everyone, thanks for watching this CuseConnect orientation. I think it's going to be crucial in you figuring out how this group works, but also in learning really how to use LinkedIn because it's going to be a really big part of your networking. So we'll start at the very beginning. This is what you see when you log into LinkedIn. Now, my account might look a little bit different than yours. You've got articles that LinkedIn thinks you might enjoy. You can see people you're connected to, what their updates are. And first, I want to talk about really getting a solid profile and what to put on that. So the first thing that's important to do is to click on the tab that says Profile, then Edit your profile. You need to be in Edit Profile to do all of these things. You want to have a headline that's descriptive, so you definitely don't want it to say Student at Syracuse University. You want it to say something like Aspiring Broadcast Journalist or Studying Public Relations at Syracuse University. You also want to, where I have this little number 3, is to edit the public profile URL, and that allows you to take what probably looks pretty yucky right now and make it your first and last name. I had to have it be Kim Brown 1 because Kim Brown was already taken, but I think you'll find it really helpful to just do your first and last name, and this helps you to show up higher in Google search results. And you can also put this link now on your resume up with your contact info so that people know how to reach you. Where number 4 is your summary. This is hugely important to fill out. So many students leave it blank, but this allows you to really give people who are visiting your profile an idea of who you are, what you're studying, what your interests are, why you're on LinkedIn, who you're hoping to network with. So make sure to fill that part out. And finally, number 5 is where you can add sections to your profile. And this ranges from everything from classes you've taken to certifications you might have to different volunteer work you've done. If you're in first year players, you would put that out as a separate organization. It really helps you to make your profile stand out in many different ways, not just your work experience. Moving on to our next slide. This is a really important part of LinkedIn, and you're going to find it up under the tab that says More. You're going to scroll down to where it says Skills and Expertise, and you just type a skill that you either have or that you're interested in. So if you're interested in working in a certain field, just type that field. For the purposes of our little orientation, I chose public relations as the skill that I have, and that now shows me professionals on LinkedIn who have that skill. So you can go through this and you can really decide, what are some of the companies that I'm interested in? What do these people do? What do they say in their profiles? You'll also see companies that are hiring for people with public relations as a skill. And if I move on to the next slide, you'll see even more that shows up when you do this search that's really helpful for you. You'll see groups that you can join that are related to public relations. I'll get to in a minute why groups are so important for your networking, for your search, and also typical locations where people who have this skill tend to be located, and they base that all on LinkedIn data. Moving over to the tab that says Companies across the top of your page, you want to highlight Search Companies, so it'll bring you to the page you see right now, and then you want to click on Search Companies again. So that's right up where that other arrow is, Search Companies. Once you're there, you really want to focus on LinkedIn and the different companies that are hiring on LinkedIn. So jobs, which I've circled, is obviously super important. And these are the companies, you see where I've got the arrow pointing to job opportunities. If you were to check that box, you would narrow those 2,550,000 results for companies to companies that are specifically hiring on LinkedIn. So you can find job opportunities. You also can see how anybody who's in your network, so if you have on Facebook friends, on Twitter you have followers, well on LinkedIn you have connections in your network, you can see if anybody in your network ties you to those companies and those job openings. And I also want you to take notice of that jobs tab up at the top, because you can click on jobs and it'll take you to another page that I think you'll find really helpful. That page is right here. It's jobs for students and recent graduates. Under that jobs tab, all you had to click was students and recent graduates, and it takes you here. And you can search LinkedIn for all of the entry-level jobs that it has. So it's pulled out the ones that are really for you. They're internships, they're jobs for students who are just out of college. Finally, we're going to head over to groups and the groups directory, which is super important because this is where you'll find CuseConnect. Obviously, you've already requested to join it, so you've found it. You know that this group is for networking with our alumni. And once you're in CuseConnect, once I've admitted you after you go through this orientation, you'll see the tab that says discussions. Just go through, see what these discussions have been like. See that almost every single one of them has a response. You can start a discussion, but I think the most effective way of using LinkedIn really comes when you're using the members tab within groups. So you're going to click on the tab that says members and also take notice of that tab that says jobs, because under that jobs tab I post all of the opportunities that come through from our alumni who are looking to hire you. Students, recent graduates, fellow alumni, they're looking to turn their companies more orange. They want to share that info with you. So that's under the jobs tab. But the members tab will take us to, like I said, one of the most important parts of using CuseConnect. Once you're in the members tab, you can type in a certain title that you're looking for or a company that you're looking to work for. So right under where it says search members, I searched for financial analyst. I put that in quotes because I wanted that specific title. I wanted to find the alumni. And remember, these are alumni who've joined this group because they said they're willing to work with you. They're willing to offer career advice. So I want to find the alumni who are financial analysts. Now those all have firsts next to their name. It means I'm directly connected to these people. They might have second, which would mean they're friends of a friend, or third, which means they're friends of a friend of a friend. But you really want to focus on, and maybe you won't see last names if they're a second or third degree connection. That's okay, you'll still be able to message them. So here are the search results that I found when I did this search for financial analyst. If I were to click on David's name and go to his profile, I would probably see something that says send in mail. That costs money. But you never ever have to pay to contact these alumni. All you do, say you went into his profile, you saw that send in mail, you just go back to these search results and you scroll over his name. In this case, it's David. You're going to see two options. One is invite to connect, the other is to send a message. If you knew David, then you can send him a connection request. You can say you're in a group with him and you can send him this request to be in his network. But the number one law of this is that you always need to personalize these messages. So if David came to campus, you met him, you said, oh, hey, I'll follow up with you on LinkedIn, that is totally fair game to connect with him, but you have to personalize that message. I don't want to see any of you sending, I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn. Say, David, it was a pleasure to meet you at that lecture on campus. I really look forward to staying in touch as I continue my networking. Something along those lines. But if you find a contact in CuseConnect that you don't know, and chances are you won't know these alumni, there's an even better way to reach out to them. And that's by sending a message. So remember when we saw David's two options, it was invite to connect or send a message. This is what happens if you choose send a message. I gave you a little bit of an idea of what to say. Hi, I'm Kim Brown. I'm studying finance. Thanks for being in this group. I'd love to learn more about your career path. Would it be okay if I emailed you? These are some ideas of questions that you might ask. Would you mind taking a look at my resume? How did you get your first job? Do you have any advice on classes I should take? But please, it is so important not to ask our alumni outright for a job or internship. You send the message, it goes to them through LinkedIn, it also shows up in their inbox and their email, and ideally they write back with some advice. And the advanced people search is also going to be really helpful for you if you find that you're not making any connections within the group, there's nobody in these groups for you to connect with. Remember, you're joining ones not only CuseConnect, you're also going to join the Syracuse University Alumni Network group, you'll join the ones for your schools and colleges. But if those aren't working, then you want to do the advanced people search, or maybe just do it anyway. And you can type in the school where you go and also any companies you're interested in, titles you want, parts of the country you're looking in, and you'll find just tons of results for people who went to SU, who are doing what you'd like to be doing, who are good connections for you. But remember, you won't have that ease of just sending a message like you do within a group. When you see the results come up, you can click on their profile and see if they share any groups for you and go about connections that way. But I did just want to point out the advanced people search because it's another awesome part of LinkedIn. So that concludes our CuseConnect and LinkedIn orientation. It is now time to take just a brief quiz to make sure that you were paying attention to everything you learned. And as soon as we receive your answers and they are correct, we will admit you into the group. So if you're watching this on our Career Services website, just look down. You can easily take the quiz that way. If you're on our YouTube channel, just take a peek at that link that we've put up there, Career Services, that's our website, and then just do /CuseConnect quiz, and that will link you to it. So thanks for watching this orientation, and I do hope you'll reach out if you have any additional questions. I'm Kim Brown on LinkedIn. On Twitter, you can find me as @KimandCuse, and my email address is kmbrow04@syr.edu. Thanks so much, and happy connecting.